In 2024, I think the risk-reward picture for Bitcoin is better than at any other time in its history. This is because institutions are starting to use it, regulations are clear, and money is coming into the space. However, Bitcoin is already 15 years old. It's not late to be 15 years late, right? Winners buy something useful, while losers are scared, right? The losers are too scared to buy the valuable thing. 300 years too late, New York real estate was the most expensive in the United States. But it's still not too late to buy it, because the thermodynamically sound digital asset is still better than real estate stocks or bonds. It will still gain worth faster than the SP index. Even after taxes, it will still be a better return than holding national debt. Still, it will be better than having real property that is limited by things like acts of God, force majeure, and other physical factors. In that case, it will still be the best buy. In 2024, Michael Saylor, the creator and CEO of MicroStrategy, is sure that Bitcoin offers a risk-reward chance that has never been seen before in its 15-year history. It's clear that Bitcoin is on the right track, and he compares it to a home run. With the successful launch of the Bitcoin ETF and the supply shock that came from having events, Bitcoin is set to hit new highs as the current bull run continues. Even though Bitcoin prices are close to all-time highs, Saylor doesn't think investors should worry about when to invest because 2024 is the best time to get in. He says that Bitcoin's prices don't fully reflect its value yet, and that now is a good time to buy because regulatory and macroeconomic risks have gone down. Saylor thinks that Bitcoin's rise is just the beginning of a 10-year gold rush during which Bitcoin could gain an average of 40% per year, making it more valuable than other assets. Saylor thinks that Bitcoin's price will go up a lot as more people learn about its revolutionary potential as a digital asset. He urges buyers to see how it can change things and take advantage of the chance, even with small investments. How big is that then? $4 billion. In the year 2024, how much money is locked up in gold, real estate, stocks, bonds, collectibles, and other valuable items? The money premium is probably half of the value of most private real estate. It's the city. People have a lot of money stuck in these idle assets for a number of reasons, one of which is that they think their money is safer there. They knew their money would get lost if they left it in the bank. The value of the cash will drop 5 times in 140 years. 5 times, right? That's why you want to learn about history. The currency has failed thousands of times in the past. If you look into history. In fact, it falls apart everywhere most of the time. In the history of the world, it falls apart everywhere about once every 50 years. And that may be being too kind. Is it now too late? Can you really just grab all of your stuff, put it in your pocket, and leave the country with 1 day's notice if you need to? If not, you shouldn't be too late, right? Because of that, you can't take your building with you if you do that. Gold bars are not allowed to be taken with you. You can't leave with your stock shares. Long ago, people bought drawings with the idea that I would roll them up. But it might not be that easy. People in general can't buy Picassos. They haven't quite reached the price point. You know how to spend $237 a week on Picasso, right? In this case, Bitcoin stands for digital property. What is the worth of digital stuff? Several $100 trillion. Is it priced too high? Not yet. It is $1 trillion at this moment. Will it be overpriced when it's worth 100 times as much as it is now? Not possible. It's likely to keep going up in value faster than anything else you can buy. Why? Since it's the best thing you can buy. Show me a hotel that you can carry around with you and reach anywhere. I think $1 billion worth of gold is about 3,000 pounds. How are you going to move that? Give me a business that will last through the next 3 CEOs, okay? Who will be the company's 3rd CEO? Also, you do trust that person, right? The SP 500. Didn't we already say that there's a 99% failure rate? All of these people won. The 500 best businesses in the world fail 99% of the time to create value for their shareholders. How many of the 100 million companies in the world fail? If 99% of the 500 best companies fail, how many of the 100 million companies fail? What is the world's most successful nation-state currency? To be exact, the dollar has lost 99.8% of its value over the past 100 years, or maybe even 99.9%. Many people would say it's either 99.8% or 99.9% of its value. Every other country's currency lost all of its value, and if you're still not sure, is Bitcoin too expensive? The question is too important compared to what, right? Are you sure you want to buy something? Instead of Bitcoin, you own something. What is that better thing, right? That is the real question. Since not buying is the same as not selling, right? There is also a certain amount of economic life in you. It's out there somewhere, right? And the question is, what do you believe is better in trust? I believe everyone must give their own answer to that question. But if someone fully knows all the risks, then I don't think it's too late to buy Bitcoin. I think that all of the marketing wars between Wall Street firms will be good, and I think the assets are becoming more common in the general investment world. So I think it was keep building steam from here on out. I also think it's important to make one point. I believe we are now in the Bitcoin gold rush age, and I believe the Bitcoin gold rush began in January 2024. And I believe it will last until around November 2034. That's about 10 years. I'll explain. Because about 93.5% of the Bitcoin had already been mined at the start of this time slot. However, by November 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be made will have been made. So that halving is a very important sign. People talk about new Bitcoins coming out every year for the next 100 years, until 2140. But the truth is that you've only been getting 1% for the last 100 years. In fact, 90 basis points of that 1% will come in the 12 years that end in 2034. After that, it's 10 basis points, which is 0.01%. But 100 years might as well not exist at all because of how volatile and busy the markets are every day. That number will be somewhere between third and fifth orders of magnitude. Since that's the case, now is your best chance in 10 years to get Bitcoin. It's the gold rush. Because there is still a lot of FUD at this point in time. There is still a lot of doubt. Some people are still not sure. They don't know anything about digital energy. They have no idea what digital wealth is. They don't know anything about digital property. Different people in the community have different ideas about whether Bitcoin is a currency or a property. There's a huge argument. Many people say, it's not a good currency because it's not legal tender, doesn't move fast enough, or I can't use it to buy coffee. There is a lot of misunderstanding in the crypto world. A lot of popular regulators are out there. They believe it is money. Bankers say, oh, it's a currency, but it's not a good currency because I can't use it to buy coffee. It doesn't let me buy things online. It changes too much. And they think that's a bad thing. So they say bad things about it. Famous people then say that Bitcoin is not a good currency and that the government will ban it, or that it's not as good as the dollar or something. This makes people who think they know what they're talking about change their minds. Because of this, they are scared and decide to believe that person. I'm not going to buy it then. A lot of people were criticizing it for the wrong reason. Then, you should know that a lot of people get it wrong, which leads to a lot of chaos, false information, and stupid misleading stories in the mass media. It leads to things like bad tweets. It makes things very confusing for Wall Street experts. Because of this, there is a lot of fear, doubt, uncertainty, and confusion, which leads to misunderstandings and slow growth in demand. Demand is going up, but think about how much faster it would go up if everyone worked for 100 hours. Those who say bad things about it are crazy. Warren Buffett didn't spend 100 hours studying Bitcoin. It's not likely that everyone who said bad things about it studied it for 100 hours. They haven't read the Bitcoin rules. Most likely, they haven't listened to 20 to 40 hours of talks. The doubters are wrong, and the mainstream investors are the ones with all the money. A lot of money worth $900 trillion is out there. The value